going to make some bag handles, tote bag handles, using some waist shaper, which is a fusible film. It's got perforations, as you can see. It's about 3 inches wide, which when it's all sort of fixed and folded in on itself, gives you a really nice width bag handle. And it's because of the thickness of the waist shaper and your fabric, you get a nice sort of strength to the handle as well. It doesn't feel flimsy at all. Super simple to do. You're going to decide the length of your bag handle, cut your strip of fabric to the length of your bag handle plus that seam allowance, because don't forget it's going to get sewn inside the tote bag between your outside layer and your lining fabric, so it's nice and secure. And it's got to be about 3 inches wide, slightly wider than the tape. The tape is in centimeters. We're going to iron it to the reverse of our fabric, and we're going to put the slightly shiny side down, which is the glue. And I've got quite a warm dry iron. Okay, and I've got a tiny bit excess, tiny bit longer. Don't worry about that. We can neaten everything up as and when, and also if you don't want to neaten it up, you don't have to bother, because it goes inside your bag and no one can see it anyway. And we're just going to iron this in place all the way along. It takes a few seconds for each section. You really do want it to be evenly adhered. You don't want any sort of loose bits coming off, or any wrinkles really in your bag handle that you can avoid for the sake of a bit of ironing. Move that along now. It's very satisfying when you find another use for a product. So say this is for making waistbands, skirts and things. I could press. Right, and just for good measure, I'm actually going to press the right side as well, just so I've got everything as smooth as I can get it. Okay, that's good. Now, perforations are there to help you. So we don't want any raw edges showing, and we want the waistband, the tote bag handles to be nice and strong. So we're going to fold in on this first perforation. I'll see that's not attached properly. See that came loose? Let's just do that again. Don't want that happening. That's better. We're going to fold that section in and press it. Way in. Okay, guess what? Do it for the other one. Get nice and crisp. Okay. Right, and guess what you do now? See that middle difference? You're going to fold that in, and you're going to press that. It is a bit stiff and bulky, so take your time. And we're going to top stitch this, so you get this stage as crisp as you can. Also, you don't panic about it, because you're going to top stitch everything in place. It will behave itself. It will eventually behave itself. She says with great confidence. There, can you see? It's starting to look a bit like a bag handle. There we go. And we'll do the same for the other one. And then all we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is top stitch that open edge first. And then we top stitch down the other side just to keep it nice and straight. And you can even do a decorative stitch down the center or another line of top stitching. It's up to you. But there you go. This needs, pins don't really work here. So if you've got any of those sort of clips that you can get for quilting, they work a treat down here. Okay, so it's ready for the sewing machine. Sewing machine ready for some top stitching, and I've just made sure it's all nicely folded. It's nice and neat. I'm choosing a matching thread. You can be brave and do a contrasting one if you want. These little clips are going to be handy and they'll just slide down. I have got my sewing machine a slightly longer stitch length. It's nearly set to 3mm. I'm just going to stitch forward, secure it at the end, and then just take my time and sew nice and slowly, as evenly as I can, all the way down. So I'm stitching very close to the edge, but don't forget you've got a good 1/4 inch inside there, so nothing's going to happen if you go off the edge. You know, you're still going to have no raw edges on your bag handle. Just take your time. I did put a new needle in because you've got quite a lot of layers to go through. And say just take your time. This clip is getting a bit annoying for me, so I might just do it with my fingers. Play and see what works best for you. Trick really is just to keep the few inches ahead of you nice and neat. Can't worry about the whole length of the handle, okay? Just do what you can. So I've done the raw edge first. A few back stitches, good thread, okay. That's pretty good. And then I'm going to turn it over and do the other edge. If you do that, if you turn it over, let's see what you're dealing with. And just do the same the other side. Thread there. This side is not as thick. Just worry about the few inches you've got coming up. Keep everything nice and flat. You could, if you've got an embroidery machine, you could do a stitch down there if you wanted to. You could do another row of stitching down the centre, but it's very secure, it's not going to come undone, and it feels nice and firm for a bag handle. You know, it really feels like it's got some structure to it and stability. It's going to work really well. I'm not going to worry about all these ends just now. I'm going to probably cut the threads off, but I don't need to neaten the ends because they're going to be inside your bag.